Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
You're watching.
We're watching. You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy. Fanboy.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dad, I assume Tom.
I just made a brand new friend today, Aadila Dosani, who is now becoming a reoccurring cast member on the hit CW series Nancy Drew. Congratulations on your spot in this series, and congratulations on everything else that you got going on, especially having a great sense of humor.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I will take that first and foremost. I mean, then Nancy Drew can come second. No, I'm totally joking.
No. You got to pay the bills first. I know those Canadian taxes.
They're brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to do some research. I need to figure out if they're comparable or not, and then like kind of weigh out my options right now, because I'm like, oh, cool. No, okay.
Now you're sitting there and going, can I get a guest stint on Stargirl over in Atlanta? Because I hear their taxes are a lot cheaper.
Totally. And I mean, I would love that. Who doesn't want to go to Atlanta? Have you been?
I have. I've been to, I got to cover Dragon Con a few years back, and that was amazing. It was so much fun.
Oh, that seems like it would be so fun. Because everyone dresses up and stuff, right? Like,
especially for Dragon Con. That's the biggie.
Did you dress up?
No, it's Atlanta. It's hot, and you know, I'm fat. It's like too much.
I mean, no, you're not. But also, like, I feel like anytime I can put on a face that's not mine, I'm like, yo, let's go. I don't know.
Why? What's wrong with your face? That's the one that your parents gave you?
It is the one that my parents gave me, although I am cuckoo bananas and I will just pick apart my face. And so let me put a dragon on there, because at Dragon Con, they're dragons. Oh, wow. I probably put myself in a deep, deep hole. But
don't worry. When you finally get to visit as a guest panelist for Nancy Drew season 4, when we can actually gather together, then it'll be a different story, and then the fans can just get mad at you. But
right. Okay.
But on top of everything else, you have a beautiful skyline sitting right behind you in a 3,500 square foot condominium in Vancouver. I'm just going to upgrade everything.
I would. Thank you for upgrading me. This is starting off so we are friends forever now. Thanks for manifesting all of this. I'll take it.
She's on the 27th floor. It's a 3,500 square foot condominium. You know, going from there. Yeah. You know. The neighbors upstairs might not like it, but hey.
I don't think they like me as it is. It's fine. What do we do?
Is it because you have to read lines and then scream at every 3 pages?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Actually, sidebar, that actually happened where I was putting an audition on tape, and it was like that. It was basically, she was like being taken over by some, demon, and had to like bang on a chair and a wall and scream because it was like an exorcism was happening. And all of a sudden, like maybe 10 minutes later, I hear a knock on the door, and I'm like, oh shoot, like I didn't order anything. Am I getting a package? It was the concierge, because the neighbors had filed a complaint. They thought that there was domestic violence happening. And I was like, amazing that they took the initiative to do that. I was like, I love that people care, but 2, I was just faking being possessed, so it's okay. We're good. It was so embarrassing.
And now you have a second career in Foley.
Exactly. Yeah, Foley's fun though. I would love to just make noise all day.
Well, you would. I don't think your neighbors like that when they got to call the cops and thinking there's domestic violence. Yeah,
brutal, crazy, right? The things you don't think about when you're in your own bubble trying to get your stuff done, and then I'm like, wow, I need to become more aware. Yeah.
How do you explain that to the cops? I'm here by myself. No, I don't have a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm an actress.
Legit, I brought my sides, and I was like, I promise. Do you want my agent's name? Like, there's no one in here. It was someone on Zoom reading. And this happened just recently, so it was kind of funny. Not funny. It wasn't funny, but like, I was like, my friend's on Zoom. We're isolating. I swear, like nobody is in here. So I feel like they didn't see the humor in it at first. Also, when I get nervous, I just start to laugh a lot and make jokes, which is so inappropriate. Do not do that with any sort of authority. Duh, Aadila. It was so bad. I definitely ate my feelings away that day.
You know what? I tell this story to a lot of people. I'm going to tell it to you too. You get in trouble with authority thing.
Yeah.
So as we talked earlier, my dad was an immigrant. Well, my dad lost his accent.
Okay.
But his accent would only come out when he got mad. Like it was this weird transition back into having an accent, and it only come out when he was angry. So I'd get in more trouble because I'd laugh too hard where I had no idea that where this accent came from.
Yeah.
Because, when it was a work call, it was perfect American English. He lost it.
Yeah.
And then, being Middle Eastern, I get an A-, and then all of a sudden the flip's there.
Oh, it comes. Yeah. And out of nowhere too. And then they say your name very much like as it should be pronounced traditionally, very loudly and firmly. And it's like, shoot. Yeah.
But then you start laughing because the accent wasn't there before. And now you're trying to figure out where the accent came from.
Exactly. And then you get into even more trouble. So I'm like, great. Thank you. I'm a glutton for punishment. Cool.
See. At that point, I would rather be talking to the cops than getting hit by my dad. It was one of those things.
I concur. Okay. Yeah. Again, I agree with you. This is why we get along.
Right.
Same upbringing. It would happen to me too. My dad, like so calm, cool, collected, right? Had pretty much, lost his accent, become very Canadianized in that way. And whenever it was anything about school or like not fulfilling a responsibility on the chores checklist, because discipline's a thing if you want to be successful. Aadila! Like, it was bad. I was like, why? Yeah.
And then your mom would look at you and just hide behind him in disappointment. And then once he's done yelling at you, she'd feed you.
No, she'd join in.
Oh, okay. It wasn't afterwards, like the calm after the storm?
No, man. I know. I was like, why? But I mean, they instilled some discipline, so I suppose that's great.
That just means it shows that their marriage was working because it was them against the kids, not the kids using them as weapons against each other.
Totally. Which, I tried, you tried, we all tried. Yeah, maybe I just won't send them this interview.
Some were just successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your brother, the doctor, he's the favorite one. But, now that you're on TV, and it's, filmed in Canada, it's a show that's a hit. Now you're the apple of your father's eye. Before it was the whole, you're going to do what with your life?
Yeah, exactly. What's funny though, is so my parents, I was lucky because they totally supported this from the get-go, which is strange. I feel like in our community and just growing up. So it worked out, but there was always a but, of course, there's always a but. If you want to do this, you also have to do this, something that's, stable, that can support this pipe dream, but we support your pipe dream. We love that you want to do this. It's great. You want 1 degree, you're getting 2 degrees, Oh, you're going to post-grad for something practical. And you're like, okay, I see this roundabout way. Yeah.
Right. So what we don't know about you is that you're a pharmacist on the side.
I mean, maybe.
It has to be one. Listen, it's one of 4 degrees. It's one of 4 things. Like STEM is like coming back in the States. Our family never left STEM. It's some sort of technology. It's some sort of sciences and medicine. It's some sort of engineering, or it's or it's business is kind of like the backup. Or then shame of the family, and you go into the A in STEAM. The arts. So
you're so right. And that's true. I have a cousin who's a doctor, and like. I love him and I love him, but he gets so pumped up and everyone gets so excited and like all these articles come out about him and they're shared in the group chat. And I was like, you just wait. I'm getting my time now. But right. Dr. Nahid, always about the doctor. Why us?
Yeah. Yeah. But guess what? But guess what?
Yeah. What?
Guess what? Well, first of all, our people invented medicine because we invented writing. So we can say we invented medicine. Yeah. And then second of all, we get to sit there and now you get to go and we're like, well, I'm the one on TV every week. What are you doing? I'm living my 6-year-old dream. You spent 10 years in medical school and you're losing sleep. So,
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, listen, he still gets all the stars. You save a life, you win.
This is true. He's doing God's work.
He's doing God's work. And we are just here to support the recovery of people because they have to watch TV. So we're supporting God's work.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
So after Naheed saves everybody,
Yep.
right, they get wheeled into the room. You're on TV as part of their recovery. And now they thank you and go, oh, if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have made it as quickly as I did and recovered. Now you have this like super fandom and everything else. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. What happened to me?
Totally. Boom. Yep. Redemption, man. Redemption. So sweet. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I have to bring this up though, you know, since Nancy Drew has been a hit, like I will not lie to you. I'm like, how are they going to bring this back for the CW? This was, you know, last year. And I'm like, you know, and you had a couple of instances there, but they loved you enough to bring you in as a full-time player.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You know, but I'm like, how are they going to update this? How are they going to make this relatable to Gen Z and the 21st century? And they just happen to do so. You know, they have that formula that makes you addicted to the CW programs.
Totally.
But now you are a part of this character's legacy, you know, this whole Bobbsey Twins thing, you know, and Bobbsey Twins was like a funny thing because for a while it could have been used as an insult. Sometimes it was like, oh, whatever, you know, like,
yeah,
and whatever else. And now here you are a part of this and you're adding to this legend that was created so long ago. What is it like for you when you get incorporated into an already established world?
Oh man, dude, it's honestly surreal. Really. And sometimes I feel like it hasn't really hit me that that's what's happening because you become a part of this already developed and like so loved and favorited mystery like sleuth family, you know, in that sense. And it's incredible. And especially on this show, which I love what's happening with the characters and a whole, like talking about Gen Z and making it relatable and all of that stuff. I feel like this season, they're really exploring for all the characters relationships and the psychology behind relationships and you know, like there's elements of like mental health and what do we think's real, what do we not think is real, and you know, the twinning relationships between us. And so it's been really cool to take like a character in this world already so well known and established and then kind of expand on it from our generation, which is really like taking those base elements still, but then like putting our flair on it, which is really cool. And then as two South Asian kids, right? Like, yo, I like never would have thought it would have happened. Even when I saw the breakdown come out, they didn't obviously say until we got the bar that they were the Bobbsey twins, but whenever you see stuff like that in a world that already exists, you're always thinking people are going to go like cast to how the books were or historically how they've been known. And so when this happened, man, it was surreal. Actually, I think you made it really surreal. I never really thought about it that way, to be honest, man. Yeah. Holy, whoa. What are you doing, man? You're so good at your job.
Why I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is that the person that was originally up for your part was Russell Peters, another Indian Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but Russell Peters didn't want to grow out his hair, so he lost it. Yeah.
I know he was fed up with that manicure, and it was just taking too long. No, I don't know if you've met Russell, but Russell's a great guy. So you know, and
he's
Russell,
so cool.
Oh yeah, Russell's amazing. So
I would love to meet him. I mean, listen, we all grew up watching Russell Peters, like icon,
right,
in our community, and you know, yeah. I think for me too, for my sense of humor.
I was at the, you know, when he did the special, the somebody going to get hurt real bad, and he's like,
"Somebody going to get hurt real bad." Yeah.
And he
you
said,
were there?
Yeah, when he sat there and he said, "This is the last time I'm ever telling that joke." I was in the audience for that, and I talked to Russell afterwards, and I was just like, "Your dad just threatened you with calling what's it called, or you know, the whole it'll take them 22 minutes to get here, and in that time somebody will get hurt real bad." I was like, dude, you Indians are easy on your kids. Middle Eastern people will just hit you with the phone and go, here, call them. Whack, here, call them.
Right away.
Yeah, they'll hit you with the phone first and then give you the phone to call them.
That's the difference.
Right, that's a slight difference.
Yeah. So you guys are up there on the sliding scale. There's a little bit of leniency for okay.
No. You guys have the leniency. Like
we have the leniency. There's no leniency on your end.
With us, it's the whack with the phone first, then they hand it to you to call them, and then you get the beating after you call them. Right. So it's a double beating.
Wow.
You guys just get the one.
We just get the one. Yeah. man.
Yeah. Your parents are more patient.
Thank goodness. I don't know if I'd be here if that was the case. I'd be like, okay, doctor it is. Pharmacist.
Yeah, pharmacist. Yeah.
Pharmacist. Yeah.
You know, that way you don't have to do like all the cutting that your cousin does.
Totally. I couldn't. I'm EBGB, man. Like needles are I can't cut, gore. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me the moment that you got the call, because you know there is the leading up to the being a part of the series. Oh, I have a cameo. Oh, I'm in one episode. Oh, it's this, and then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? You're a series regular.
Yeah. Oh man, it was. I'll just be real on it. It's kind of funny. It was a process, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that COVID happened, and this was being cast in the midst of that because they had to just get started, and you know all the logistics of that back end of things. But it had been like a ongoing process for a couple months in terms of just like wait time. And I feel like it was one of those things where honestly I had let it go because we were like, okay, they love you. We haven't heard anything. We don't know what's going on. And then at that point, I feel like I've learned to let go of stuff just as an actor for my sanity and mental health. I used to hold on to stuff and it would just, it's what's made me kind of cuckoo bananas. And so I was actually at my partner's place. We were in the midst of this massive fight, you know, COVID relationship fights. Hey, yo. Yeah, it happened. And all of a sudden I get a call from my agent, Corey, and it was like 10:30 at night. And so I was like, I have to take this also, because I was like, I got to take a break. Because of course he was like, right, because he's always rational and I'm just crazy and emotional. So, you know, like really the fight really shouldn't have happened. It was just me perpetuating something that didn't even need to, again, like I'm taking accountability. And Corey called and let me know. And at first I did not believe him because he tricked me actually. He was like, I am so sorry. I know this has been such a process. I have to like let you know that like we've worked so hard and I'm so proud of you. And then he just paused. So imagine I'm already like super heated and emotional. And then I get this call thinking it's going to be some sort of good news. And he takes like a 5-second break that it's dead. And 5 seconds in that moment felt like maybe 2 minutes. And I was like, so everything just started coming up and I had like tears right at the back of my face. And then he was like, you got it. And I was like, what? And then all of a sudden I just started freaking crying like a sad, sad baby. It was insane. So that was the moment I found out. Needless to say, the fight got swept under the rug. So I was winning. I did not have to deal with those consequences. I was
going to say, that's how you won the fight. You started crying.
That's how I won the fight. Totally. I was like, thank you. Yeah. And that's how it happened. And so I was a mess and it was so amazing. And mainly because, I mean, I grew up reading the Bobbsey Twins and Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and my mom loved them. And she has all the books and like just the volumes of them all. And so I think I went into, I cried like a baby. I went into shock. And then I was like, I couldn't even, you couldn't be happier. This is so dope. If I don't, you know, like you think if you don't work again, this is so cool to just be a part of this. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, it's great because now I'm trying to figure out how the fight would have ended if you didn't get the call since you were a college rugby player.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I try to tackle below the knee. He's so tall though that it just doesn't. Yeah, it would have probably ended with me, you know, giving him a tackle and going, really. I don't know. Is that weird to say?
Well,
yeah, probably weird. Yeah, that's cool. You guys don't have to.
Whatever works for you.
No one should sit on that. I don't know how it would have been. It would have ended poorly for me. I would have just been like, where's that boxed wine?
No, that's when the cops would have been called for the domestic violence thing, and it would have actually been a real situation.
Totally. Whereas he's always so calm, right? Like he literally just sits there and is like, and I'm like, like, I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. But.
And he's just looking at you, what I get myself into.
100%. Yeah, he sits there so calmly, so zenned out, and is just like, are you finished? No, okay. I don't know. It's a girl's worst nightmare, that type of way to communicate. It's great in hindsight. However, in the moment.
Because you get to rant and rave and everything else.
Yeah, totally. Totally, this is my life.
See, I got to learn that from white guys, because they know how to stay calm with that stuff. Middle Eastern people and South Asian people are very emotional and will yell back. White guys will just sit there and go, huh, okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I thought he'd be fiery too. He's Caribbean and First Nation. So you think, right? Like they'd be like, all right, I'll match you. What's up? And no, he's just like, like, no bueno, man.
I got to learn that trick.
I don't know. I like the fire though. I like fighting. It's just cathartic.
Well, that puts a damper on the relationship with him sitting behind the camera looking at you go, really?
Know, right? Yeah, he's just like, he's not
just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, you want fire, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if your mom has the collection of the books and you start reading all this stuff, what is mom's reaction now that you got into the series and you're one of the Bobbsey twins on top of it?
She was stoked. It was so awesome. As soon as I got I called her, because my parents I've been so lucky, like become my #1 fans and really have been so supportive. And she watches Nancy Drew as well. And so as soon as I told her, she was like, okay, here we go. Do you know what's happening? Do you know how it ended? This is how it ended. These are the dynamics between this person and this person. And like, she's like, between Ace and Nancy and George and this and that. And I was like, oh my word. And so she was like, hey, you got to work on this. You're about to change. You're coming in this. Have you read your first episode yet? Do you know what's going on? Do you guys know what storylines? Are you going to solve any crimes? What's happening? Okay. Which Bobbsey twins are you? I'm like, probably the oldest one. Sure, the oldest ones. Okay. Well, copy. So you're probably going to be playing Nan, hence Amanda. And I was like, whoa, Mom. It was insane. And like a little Indian mom just like spewing out all this like Nancy Drew Bobbsey twin knowledge. I was like, cool.
So your mom went from being disappointed in you not getting into pharmacy school to now becoming your acting coach.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
That's fantastic.
Talk about a 180. We got one here. Yeah.
Thank you for actually knowing the degrees on a compass, because I hear people say, oh, they did a 360. And I'm like, they're back where they started.
Exactly. I hate that. It's like, don't use the analogy if you don't know. I can't. I'm with you. Maybe it's because we are like, didn't we also invent math?
Yeah. Engineer dads, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My dad was an engineer. So yeah.
See, so told him, a mom's the accountant, right? So if I ever use that poorly, I know I can't. Sometimes I can't even keep it in anymore when people say that and you try to be polite and you're like, nah, bro, it's not going well.
You just imagine the slipper whizzing by your head.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, I'm done now. Yeah.
Okay, so being a fan yourself and then your mom figuring out which character you were going to be.
Yeah.
Has she watched the episodes leading up to your big debut and your big reveal and going, that happened in chapter 6 of X book, not over here after this scene, and watching them jump around to make this, the transition coherent to the television medium versus the written medium?
Totally. You know, what's funny is, so she basically, when she started asking me about stuff, I'd be like, Mom, I mean, I don't know. And then she did watch that first episode where they introduced our characters, Gil and I. She was like, oh, it seems like they're taking a very different approach to you guys. And I was like, because our characters are like, from the wrong side of the tracks. We stir some stuff up this season. They're super intelligent, super smart, super emotionally charged, but they're not conservative, and there's no decorum in that sense. And so she literally was like, oh, liberties are being taken. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, liberty. She was so cute, but she was like, they're not very wholesome, are they? And I'm like, CW.
See, your mom's even having fun with it.
She's even having fun with it. Yeah. So it was quite cute. I was like, this is the best gift I feel like I could ever give a parent, to like have her be so immersed into what I'm doing. That's not me being a doctor, lawyer, or a pharmacist, engineer, you know, the four. Yeah.
Yeah. The big ones.
The big ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Now the thing that we need is the Nancy Drew Arrowverse crossover, since Flash, Supergirl, and now I think Superman and Lois are going to be filming in
Vancouver, right? Yeah.
Either Superman and Lois are filming in Vancouver or they're filming in Atlanta, but I know the other two are filming there.
I'm pretty sure it's here.
Okay. Hey, Supergirl cameo, you know.
That would be so cool. Yeah, because they cross a lot, right? Like DC, Supergirl, yeah. Did you hear that, y'all?
Network crossover. Come on, bring in Walker, Texas Ranger on top of it, and then, you know, you're good to go.
Totally. I mean, wouldn't that be so crazy, those worlds just colliding? I could just see the Drew crew being like, okay.
Right. And then solve the mystery before the Flash even gets there, and like now he's upset 100%. Because he feels worthless. We totally get it. Yeah.
100%. Like I was like, these sleuthers are real smart. I'm like, this is next level skill versus, you know, the old school book. Yeah. Like the books. Yeah.
But see, this way it'll be like those old Scooby-Doo crossovers. You know, like Scooby-Doo meets Sonny and Cher, Scooby-Doo meets Batman and Robin, Scooby-Doo meet the Three Stooges or whatever else. So it'd be like one of those, like Nancy Drew meets the Arrowverse.
That would be so cool. Do you guys hear that? Yeah. Cool. Listen, you were manifesting my life right now, so thank you so much for putting that out there. I will let you know when I get that 3,000 square foot place.
Listen, let me know when you get the 3,000 square foot place, and if that Nancy Drew Arrowverse crossover happens, I'm just the bartender in the background, just cleaning the glass as an extra, and go, okay.
Being like,
just in the middle of the fight scene. There's this big fight scene going on in the bar, and I'm just, this is expected. Just that.
Totally. Guy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'd be like, it was here first. So.
Right. I don't even need a line. I'm just sitting there.
Yeah. You're like, I just want to chill. I just want to be right here and just watch what I predicted come to life. Thank you.
Make my set visit worthwhile.
Oh, you know I will. Yep.
You know, what's going on now with everything else? You know, South Asians are starting to get their place in the performing arts, you know, in Canada, in the United States, which has always been a surprise because there's 1.3 billion people just in India itself, and we're not even counting Pakistan and Bangladesh on top of it, which used to all be one country. So it's surprising is that. Are you able to like look at Bollywood films as well and take some inspiration from there? Because like there's always that cross-culturalism in some instance where people will sit there and go, we're not represented, but then they'll look at you and go, well, you're, you know, let's say you're Indian, for example. I don't know which one, so we'll just pick Indian because you know, there's the majority of them in that one country.
Totally.
And go, well, you already have Bollywood, so there's your representation. But at the end of the day, you're also Canadian. Like if you were born in Canada, you have this one foot in the old world, one foot in the new, versus, you know, being raised over there. And that's the first identifier.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because I'm like, I always like identify whenever people are like, what are you? And I'm like, well, chick, but you know, a human, but you know, it's always, I always identify as Canadian, which is just, that's what innately comes out, or, you know, Indo-Canadian, because obviously I have so many of those roots from my parents and grandparents and family, because they have really made sure that I grew up in both communities and really immersed myself in both cultures and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, in terms of Nancy Drew, what I love that like the EPs and the showrunners and Melinda and Nago did is that they didn't really, we're just there. We're just the Bobbsey twins, and we're just South Asian, you know, and there is no, I love that there's no reference as to why it's not introducing our heritage and our culture. We're just allowed to live in this world because why the heck not, you know, without having that sort of backstory there. And I love that that's not touched on really, because I feel like that's where the world needs to be right now. There should be no explanation for why a colored person is playing a traditionally white character anymore. But yeah, like in terms of relating it back to like Bollywood, that world of Bollywood and that cinematography and stuff, listen, like I love Bollywood and I'm always drawing inspiration from there in my real life. I'm not gonna lie. So I get like in terms of pulling it into this show, I feel like not so much in the sense of like who the characters are, because I feel like they come from a completely different upbringing. I mean, they are, you know, American as such in the storyline. Oh my, did I even answer that? No.
Yeah, because it's like there doesn't need to be a statue of Shiva in every scene
Exactly.
to go, remember, look where they're originally from. Like, it doesn't have to play up to that. It's just that, you know, for all we know, they're second or third generation born American Canadians or whatever, and just is what it is, you know.
Exactly. And I love that aspect, because I just feel like we have to normalize it. You know, this is where we're at right now, and then putting that whole representation thing on it, it's just so wonderful that was done that way. Yeah.
And I think it's easier with fictional characters than if it was with a historical figure.
100%. And like, I'm with you on the sense of like an important historical figure does need to be represented factually. You know, I get that. And I totally understand that. I stand behind that for sure. But yeah, exactly. In the world of fiction, why not? You're already using your imagination reading this. You know, like I'm sure a little brown girl who read the Bobbsey Twins, when I read them, I didn't, you know, I don't really remember what I envisioned the first time I would read those books, but I'm more than sure it was probably using my imagination, someone like me. So I think it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, you know, so I'll throw this out there. You know, again, we all had to go to postgraduates. You know, we all had to go at least get a master's degree.
We did.
Yeah. So my master's degree is in theology. And one thing that we learn in theological studies is that, you know, if you look at iconography, like we'll take Christianity, for example.
Okay.
You know, what Jesus would have looked like in the Middle East. So you'll have that Eastern Mediterranean look for the most traditional icons.
Yeah.
But then when you go into Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Orthodox iconography has them looking a little more Ethiopian. The Egyptian iconography has them looking a little more Egyptian. You know, I've even seen icons of, you know, the Korean Virgin Mary. And, you know, it's the similar iconography style, you know, like the traditional iconography style, but she has Korean features in that iconography. So, you know, people have always put their own spin on that. Like, even if when you get into the Renaissance and they took biblical stories, but put them in modern Italian and even German fashion for it. So it would only make sense that you're reading the Nancy Drew stories and you put yourself into the story.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I feel like, yeah, exactly. Right. Because that's your Jeanette, like your makeup. Yeah.
And let's be honest, everyone wants to see someone that kind of looks like them in film or television or some sort of the arts without being, you know, a stereotypical character from 300 years ago.
100%. And I love that we're breaking those barriers with this, you know, with this, because it's like, great, now people can see someone who looks like them in these like fictional characters. Yeah, man, I brought these out here. I was like, yo, they're making a cameo. That's it.
There you go. Oh, and the thing that we brought up, we'll bring it full back to Russell. All
yes.
Right? We'll bring it back to Russell Peters, because now we want Russell to have a cameo on the show.
What is that? A 180 or a 360? Oh, yeah.
No, but Russ, I remember another joke that Russell had made was the first time he went to India. And he said, you know, I'm Indian. I've always been Indian. I'm going to teach the Indians in India how to be Indian. Yeah. And then they opened up the plane door and he felt the humidity. He said, shut the door. We're going back to Canada. I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
So there's that level of cross-culturalism coming in there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Listen, climate's a thing.
See, I don't have to worry about my hair poofing out anymore.
was gonna say, did you ever have long hair? Like, did you have the curl? Is your hair naturally
big,
curly?
wavy, yeah, and then it's all gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Yeah. Big, wavy, strawberry blonde hair.
Was it strawberry blonde?
Like between strawberry blonde and light brown, like depending how long I was in the sun.
Oh, dude, that's dope. You like had natural highlights, low lights. You know, people pay for that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and then God had a sense of humor and took it all away. So.
Right. Yeah. Because and I love that God's using humor as a coping mechanism these days. Yeah.
Well, we need it.
We do need it. So, you know.
You know, you guys filmed throughout the pandemic. Obviously, there's the safety regulations and the codes and the continuous temperature checks and masks in between scenes and face shields and whatever else. Does that turn into a skeleton crew kind of at the point? Because, you know, there's no longer 90 people on set trying to make sure of everything, to make sure everything goes right.
No. Yeah. So what's happened now is so now the whole production, the crew, there's different zones is kind of how we do it. So it's not like there's not 100 people, you know, on set. So I mean, like CBS CW, they have incredible COVID measures. We basically are testing, you know, multiple, like 3 times a week, making sure nothing's going on. And then there's like yellow zone, I think orange zone or red zone. And so the actors and like main crew are red zone. And those are the people who basically are the ones who are allowed to be on set when things are rolling, who are allowed to like be in closer proximity. I mean, we have incredible COVID and safety staff who have come on, who basically are implementing all of these protocols, who are always there, like making sure we're masked up until the camera rolls. All the crew's always wearing their masks and stuff, but that's kind of how it's split apart. So definitely way less. It does feel a little more like a skeleton crew for sure, but you're basically zoned that way. And like the COVID and safety staff basically are always checking to make sure nobody's in a zone that they're not supposed to be in. And they're super, super diligent, which is so great because it makes us feel so safe. So I feel like so much work has been put into all these measures that it's streamlined now, but that's kind of how they've been going about it.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are safe. What type of test do they give you? Like I did a set visit and they made me take the COVID test, and she's swirling around in there, and I actually sneezed on the nurse.
Oh,
I know. It was so ticklish that just, you know.
Yeah.
Do they
like boogers fly out?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
okay. They're already hanging out there anyway, because that's part of the test for anyone that's taken the test.
Yeah.
The test that they give you, do they give you the swirl test up front, or do they shove you all the way back in your brain that you remember 3rd grade French?
No. Yeah. I would no. Yeah. Thank goodness they're just the swirly ones. So like probably half the size of the brain ones. And then they just like go, I think it's like 15 seconds, right? The one you took in the nostrils. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, I gotta be honest, I kind of enjoy them. It gets that tickle that you can't ever get, like, and we can't even pick our nose anymore. Like, I'm sorry, picking your nose when it's just dry and crusty, it's satisfying. And now I'm like so afraid to put my finger up my nose, but at least the COVID test gets it. This is like too much information, right? I don't know. I'm just being real. You
have created an entire new fandom. There's going to be fan art of you just knuckle deep in your nostrils.
Yeah, I did this to myself. Cool.
That's okay. It humanizes you.
Right. Yeah.
And at least they didn't take, you know, the 14-inch Q-tip and just shove it up your brain.
Yeah. But like, you can't sustain that, right? Like, I can't imagine that you can sustain that going in all the time. Like, you get cranial damage. I don't know. No?
I have no idea. Call Cousin Nahid and see what he has to say.
You're so right.
Just text him. I was like,
I'll give you an update.
Thank you. I need that. Yeah, please.
Okay, here.
You know, and he's gonna be like, "What the hell is she talking?"
He'll be like, for real, I'm in a surgery. No, I'll text him. We might get a lifetime answer.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Sick. All right. Here we go. What should it be?
The naval cavity COVID test. Does that eventually do long-term damage with continuous testing that way?
Thank you so much for being concise. Long-term damage testing that way. Perfect. Boom.
See?
Sent.
And
yeah.
Right. And now you're going to get like the raised eyebrow one and go, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. 100%. He's all about those emojis. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. So this kind of lockdown of you overlooking the harbor in Vancouver, do they just make all of you stay in the same apartment complex and just everybody stacked on top of each other so you could do Zoom reads as your table reads?
That. Wouldn't that be so fun? No, maybe. You know what? I like being... no, that would be great. No, they don't. Okay. I'm actually, because I'm local, because I'm from Vancouver, I'm just basically in my own place. And then I know like when people come in to do guest spots and stuff, they do have allocated, a certain amount of allocated hotels that people stay into. So they actually have quarantine floors that they put people on. And then I think they like move rooms once they finish quarantining on the quarantine floor to like lower rooms while they're working so they can be in and out of those, because I think the quarantine floors are monitored. So it's interesting. And like I know the regular cast have homes set up here. I know Kennedy, who's Nancy Drew, like stayed here, and a few of the people stayed in the midst of the pandemic because it's like you never know nobody knew what was happening. But yeah, the regular cast have their own homes kind of dispersed in the Lower Mainland area. And then anyone who comes into guest starring gets put into those top 2 floors. And then I think they get moved down into then the living quarters.
Huh. So apparently the quarantine and the virus is like heat, heat rises like and heat. Cold,
Yeah.
Cold,
I was like,
descends,
who knew? Yeah.
Yeah. It's all in the science. So
all in the science, which unfortunately we know nothing about, do we? I mean, listen, at least we know math and degrees.
Right. Yes, that's what we know. We have to make sure.
We got to make sure. As long as we get something right, our parents will be proud.
Well, let's hope we get somebody in the comment section actually going, no, that's not how it goes. That's just them taking a protocol of putting them on the higher room.
Right, totally. And I could be totally wrong. Like, also, I'm just spewing stuff out of my butt, but no, I'm pretty sure it's correct. Yeah, I don't know.
So you grew up in Vancouver proper, or like in BC, or all over BC?
I actually grew up in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah, okay. Which is kind of cool. So the guy playing my brother, Praneet, and I both grew up there, which is kind of crazy. So when we both found out we were cast, we're like, what? 2 little Calgary brown kids getting cast as the Bobbsey Twins. But yeah, no, I'm a Albertan through and through here. And then went on to Toronto for like post-sec in school where I played that rugby. And then here. Then
we're going to play just a little stereotypical so people know that I'm bringing this up in a justful manner. So your dad immigrates to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point just sat there and went, you know what? To hell with this heat. I've heard of these white Christmases and all these songs. Let's see what snow's like. And he picked the coldest place that has human occupancy.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Is that basically what it was?
That's basically what happened. And I was like, wow, okay. I guess he just wanted to experience life and add to his adventure book. Yeah. And my parents, when they did come up, they migrated up here, they went to the East Coast. So they were in like Kitchener, Guelph, even colder than the West. I know. I was like, well, okay. I know.
Well, now your dad knows why that house was $50,000.
Accurate. It's so true.
He was like, I got a 3-story house for $50,000. Over in Toronto, it was gonna be $450,000.
Yeah,
I got a deal. And then he realizes that in order to have drinking water, he's got to melt the snow outside.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I can say this because I am a brown girl, but like we love a deal, okay? We are all about bargains. So if we can get that 3-story house for $50K, yeah, Canadian too. Like, yeah, that's probably why they did it for sure. I'm gonna ask.
And for people that don't know South Asian and Middle Eastern mentality when it comes to a deal, if you ever hear us bragging about something we purchased, we had an amazing deal on it.
Yeah.
If we don't brag about it, we obviously felt we paid too much for it.
100%. We won't even mention it. This is why we carry cash, because we are always bartering. No tax, right? I'll give you cash. Everyone's like, no, this is like a franchise store. I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt to try. You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that place that you guys got that donut shop? Tim Hortons?
Oh, yeah. Have you had Tim Hortons?
I have not had Tim Hortons, but I've heard you Canadians talk about it so much that like you have to send me a box of donuts from there.
I am going to send you a box of donuts. Yeah.
Or like at least a canister of coffee to see how it compares to like Dunkin' Donuts out here.
Dude, 100%. I'm going to send you Timbits. You guys know what Timbits are? Or I think you guys call them donut holes.
Yeah, donut holes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're called Timbits, like the little mini donut. I'm going to send you a box of Timbits. Yes. Yeah, man, Tim Hortons is a staple. That was the thing, like, right? When you were allowed to go out for 2 hours when you were 12 and thought you were so cool. Go to Tim Hortons and be like, I can't drink caffeine, but I'd like a hot chocolate and a Timbit on my date. Like, not that I did that, mom and dad. No, never.
Yeah. Donut holes and a hot chocolate. And if they really liked you, they splurged and got you the marshmallows.
You know what they did? They'd get you a big, like they get you the whole donut. And that's when you knew you were really liked. I was like, he is into me. Yeah. Because it was like a whole 40 cents more, you know? Like that's a lot.
So we've unmasked the Queen Canadian dating ritual of donut holes versus whole donuts at the Tim Hortons in Alberta.
And if they really, really liked you, like wanted to ask you out to be like your boyfriend or girlfriend, you know what they would get you? They would get you, crud. Nobody asked me, but I saw it, which is why I don't remember, obviously. I'm a bad Canadian. How do I forget this? You know what? It'll come to me, but it's like the frozen coffee. But no, there's a name.
Like, what's it called? Like Frappuccino?
Yeah, like a Frappuccino. I just dug myself a hole, and I'm going to have some very disappointed Canadian friends, but I'm going to remember it. But I know, because my friend,
it's okay. They'll just sit there and go, she's an immigrant. Like they won't even believe you're born
totally,
in Canada at that point.
And basically it's the truth, so it's fine.
Yeah. You clearly have a great sense of humor, and you're having fun with all of this. When you get to act not only in Nancy Drew, but so many other projects that you've worked on, what's it like living that, first generation born in the New World dream? Because, our parents came over here. I don't know if your parents knew the language, but mine didn't.
Yeah.
And made something of themselves. And now here you are continuing on, essentially kind of living an expansion of their dream, because they wanted a better life for you and your siblings. Yeah. And now here you are doing what you want to do because you have the option to do it, not out of necessity. It's so surreal. Like, and it's, always reminding myself of that. So thank you for reminding me of that today, where it's like, that's what I have to tell myself to check myself. I'm like, how grateful am I? Like, I just have to put all the gratitude out there that I can live my dream because my parents made that choice. And we talk about that all the time. And I'm sure it's the same with like your parents. It was no small feat. Like they had to work their freaking butts off and like went through so many things that got bullied, were always racially slammed. There was so much discrimination. The workforce was never fair, and they stuck through it so that we could live our dream. And it like makes me tear up thinking about that all the time, because it just goes to show you, like, I cannot, my generation, me born here, first generation Canadian, North American, I can't take any of this for granted, because I wouldn't have had it if my parents didn't choose to like really sacrifice themselves and their happiness and their dreams in order for us to have ours. And I think that's what makes this sweeter. And I think that's, I think that's why my mom gets so into it too, because they get to see something that they probably never thought was possible. Right. And so it's hard. It's like tear wrenching, like, oh man, like none of it would have been possible. And they went through the ringer. Like, we think that we're being discriminated against and, things aren't fair. I always have to tell myself, like, how did mom and dad feel? It was
freaking 100 times worse.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they still had to tune it out. At least now we have a voice, and, you know, you and I can stand up for ourselves and be like, no, F that. That is not cool. That is not fair. Check yourself. They were never able to do that. They had no voice, and yet they still stuck through it. It's such a freaking magical thing, I think, for us to hold on to.
I got lucky in the sense that, you know, my mom has lighter complexion, so I have a fairer complexion, but my father had a darker complexion, you know, so you could instantly tell that he was from the Middle East.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I remember I picked him up from the airport one time and I was like, Dad, hurry up. And this guy's looking at me and looking at my dad. He's like, oh, he's adopted. I was like, no, that's my dad, you ass. And then when 9/11 happened, you know, my dad started getting checked a lot at the airport.
Yeah.
And, you know, I did too, but not nearly as much as he did. You know, we were the randomly selected crowd.
Yeah.
And I just finally looked at my dad. I was like, Dad, just start wearing pajamas to the airport because you're going to get pulled off.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he's like, I work for the government. And I was like,
what the fuck, right?
Yeah. Unless you're carrying your state ID all the time, Dad, you know, the TSA is not going to care.
It's not going to care. And like, it resonates. I'm like tearing up now, but it like totally resonates because it's like, I can see in that sense of, I'm a lighter complexion than my sister. And even in our generation, that my dad's lighter than my mom. But even with my sister, I see, you know, that shit is still it's still here. It's still alive. And it breaks my heart because it's so messed, right? Like I see her getting checked at the airport all the time and being taken because she's that Indian who's darker with the big curly hair. And she gets so ganged up on. She gets so many discriminatory comments thrown at her. People are so racist towards that complexion. And it's just, it boggles my mind. And you felt it firsthand. We both have. And it's insane, man. So like, if we're feeling that exactly to what you said, to what your dad had to go through and what our parents had to go through with even the complexion being different and then like the different levels of like treatment within that, fudge, man.
Well, I think the funnier thing with my aspect is that it's different in that regard because of my complexion. And I tell people this, I was like, I get shit on in 3 different languages.
Oh, which ones?
Like, you know, my dad's family speaks Aramaic, so I speak that. My mom speaks Arabic, so I speak that. And then of course, English. So, you know, white people will sit there, and not picking on all white people, please don't think that.
Not at all.
I also noticed that, like, you know, a certain demographic of white people that are trying to be woke are the ones that end up saying more racist stuff than the other side.
Right? And you're like, you don't even know what that means. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, woke my ass. But it's like, so I'll hear them say something racist. And I was like, you thought I was one of you. Great. And then like, I'll go to like the Middle Eastern market and say like, it's the Arab market. So I'll hear like them talking in Arabic, and then they'll be talking about me. And I was like, really? I get this over here too. And then, you know, I'll go somewhere else where all the other Assyrian people are, and they're all short and dark, and I'm 6'3", and, you know, was a strawberry blonde at one point. Yeah. And then I hear it on that side again, and I was just like, I can't win, man. Nobody likes me. So, all right, let them all talk.
Yeah, no, totally. And then it comes at you at all angles, right? And you're just like,
you know, I can't win. So I looked at my dad. I was like, Dad, you're lucky. Because if they're just mean to you, you know, they don't like you from the get-go. I get to hear it on the back end.
Yeah, you get that passive aggression, which is even worse. Because it's like, am I being gaslit by like a bully? What?
Or by your own people.
Or by your own people. Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing too. It's so funny. Like there's so much interracial things going on too, which I feel like is a whole different topic. I would love to delve in with you one time for sure. I feel like we would totally jam that one out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, like there's a comic, he was born in Saudi Arabia, raised in Jordan, but he's Korean and Vietnamese.
Oh, what?
Yeah, his name's Won Ho Chung. The guy's hilarious.
Oh man, Won Ho Chung.
Won Ho Chung.
Okay, I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, and what's it called? And his Arabic's better than his Korean and Vietnamese because, you know, he was born in Saudi Arabia and grew up in Jordan, and he was in one of the Gulf states. This is part of his act, and one of the Gulf people was making fun of his haircut, and then he just turned and answered the guy in Arabic. So he's like, "Do you like it or not?" the Gulf guy had no idea how to react to it.
Wow. I love that. I wish, is there a clip of that? I like would love to see, or maybe
I'll find a clip and then I'll send it to you like via Instagram or whatever when we
that would be
all that
so
stuff.
so dope. I would love that. I love that. Just like throwing someone off that way so unexpectedly to being like, yep. Yeah.
And it's even funnier that way because like no one expected the Korean guy would be able to speak Arabic.
To speak Arabic.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a trip for sure. I'm about it though.
Yeah. And how's your French since you're Canadian?
Je m'appelle Aadila. Croissant. Not good. Poutine. Yo, it's so bad.
So your doctor cousin trumps you on that one as well.
He trumps me on everything.
Did he get back to you about the Q-tip swab thingy?
No, because he's
surgery,
probably being busy in surgery. I mean, like... Also, yeah, I did ask in our cousin group chat as well, so maybe he's also like, what's wrong with this girl? That happens a lot.
Here's the best part about this conversation. Yeah, I like my interviews to be conversational.
Yeah.
So every Middle Eastern person and South Indian person that's first generation or was a young immigrant to the Western world is going to go, I lived everything that they said. Everybody that's trying to figure out if we were actually just talking about Nancy Drew and your career is going to sit there and go, what in the hell are they talking about? Because this is how our conversations go. We'll bounce back and forth between the main topic and all the other side topics, cracking jokes. So welcome to the inner circle, everyone.
100%. Feel real privileged, okay, y'all? Because this is a rare occurrence. Just saying.
The only thing missing right now is like a pot of tea. And a hookah, and that's it.
Yeah, legit a hookah. Oh, I miss those days. Especially as like, you know, I'm gonna get a note being like, why did you say that? I mean, listen, but like even just like the community aspect of it, sharing it around, that will never happen again. Isn't that insane? Like our traditions might not ever happen again. Like sharing a hookah with sweet tea, like tea and a little chocolate so you don't go all lightheaded, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just me, but
Are you down?
Yeah, got it. Are you tea or coffee?
I'm both.
Oh, you're both? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm both. So I can have half a pot of coffee in the morning and then half a gallon of tea in the afternoon, and I'll still be in bed by 9:30.
Yeah, see, this is why we're friends. I'm coining us as friends now, so okay, sweet.
We're in, you know.
Dope.
You come down to Southern California, we'll go to, Cerritos in the Indian section and go hang out there for a while, and then I'll lose you in the crowd.
I would love that. Yeah, right, exactly.
And then we'll go to Anaheim, and then we'll go with all the Arabs over there, and then, we'll lose each other again.
And we'll lose each other again. Is Anaheim pretty
Yeah, there's a lot of Arabs in Anaheim, a lot of Persians in Irvine, so that's the Orange County side. And then LA, same thing, in the Valley and West LA, a lot of Persians and Arabs.
Got it. And then aren't there a lot of like Armenians in Pasadena? Is that what I've heard or something like that? Yeah, so it's kind of like all quadrant, borough-y spread up. Right, but
the way the city lines are drawn, it might as well all be one city because none of it makes sense.
Yeah, totally. What are quadrants anymore?
Right. Come on, nothing is angular. It's just like these weird zigzaggy lines.
Totally.
It's basically the way the English and French drew the borders in the rest of the world.
I mean, you know what? You are not wrong. It's so true, actually. It's so true.
Yeah. This tribe belongs with these people. So what are we going to do? We're going to put the border right in the middle of this tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so what country is that? They're in the same country with the people that they've been warring with for 175 years. Is that going to work? I don't know.
Yeah, figure it out.
They're all the same nationality.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, figure it out. Right. Thank you
Geography.
So much. Yay. Colonialism, I mean.
No, we're kidding. We're not,
Not at all, yeah, we're joking.
Right. You have to have a sense of humor after 175 years of XYZ.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way the world gets better, and you get to make progress is through humor, honestly. I don't know. And tears and a lot of emotional eating, a lot of it, which is what I did.
Says the skinny Indian girl, overlooking the view.
No, check this out. I'm not at all. So I have like armrests here. So when you do this, your arms look a little jacked. I've been testing this out on camera. You think that I just hopped on here. I'm Indian, man. I was like, yes, Let's set this up. Now, what angle is my best? Oh, you know this to be true.
That's that rugby build. What position did you play?
Oh, I was the hooker.
Number 2 position.
Number 2 position. Yeah, that's it, man. The good old days.
How'd you keep all your teeth?
I don't know. I'm so grateful that I have. I mean, like both my knees have popped. I've like stitches everywhere. I've been cleated everywhere. Where's that stitch right here? Yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea. I had the boys protecting me. I guess I played with boys. That's not a good idea. Anyone out there thinking of playing rugby, not that you're not tough enough or skilled enough. It's just like
you're 67 kilos lighter than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and like, okay, don't get mad at me for saying this, but men and women sweat differently. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, so I'm just saying when you're in like a dog pile of boys, there's a different aura. Aroma. That's it.
No,
yeah,
it's true. It's a very different,
it's a different smell for sure.
And then don't forget there are the people that are against deodorant, so there's an added layer.
Yes, some people they are against it, and I'm like, yo, man. Like, you can't, like, put everything on you. That's great. Just wear some deodorant, antiperspirant. I don't know. I know there's, like, this whole thing about, like, clean deodorant.
Natural stuff.
The natural stuff. But honestly, for me, it doesn't really work, or it takes a long time for your body to get used to it. No one has that kind of time. What do you do in the meantime? I don't have that time. I'm like a perpetual sweater. Oh, there we go. There's some more fans. Okay.
Well, okay. So now here's the biggie.
Okay.
Season 3 is going to roll around at some point. We know this is going, season 3. Let's not play games.
Yeah.
All right. When there's going to be a football or rugby scene incorporated, you doing your own stunts.
Yeah, I would love to. I actually dropped the hint to the showrunners, and Melinda, one of our EPs, is the showrunner as well. And when we were watching, like we had like a little Zoom party for the first episode and the premiere of season 2. And I didn't know in Zooms you could go into breakout rooms and like have little breakout room dates. Like, this is insane. I mean, it's probably Zoom Premium, which I don't have, but like, that's cool. And I did drop the hint. I was like, because you guys know I play rugby, right? So maybe I could be the brawn and not the brain, So we'll see. I would love that. I've always wanted to get into stunts, actually, because of that athletic background. So that would be dope.
Like, there's just one scene that they're playing flag football, and Amanda gets a little too into it.
She gets, just a tad bit. Just picks someone up and like carries them off into like, get that.
Just run an extra like 15 meters on the pitch and just drops them.
Dude, that'd be so dope. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
Yo, all y'all girls out there would love it. Like, that would be so cool. I want to do that.
Hey, listen.
Can you manifest that for me like everything else you're doing?
Sure, why not?
Thank you.
Let me go get my crystal ball. We'll set that up for you.
Great. Do you have a crystal ball?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I think you should.
I have a crystal hourglass that I got as a for-your consideration package last year for the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, shoot.
I know. I was like, wow, I always wanted an hourglass. Now I got one.
Now you got one.
Yeah.
Yo, have you used it?
Yeah. I've said it. And then, of course, the genius that I am, I've forgotten to actually time it to see how long it lasts.
Did you actually is it an hour? Yeah.
My it's like 53 minutes, because I won't be able to pay attention that long, but.
Right. Yeah. But you got to like full out do an experiment, a science experiment, write up a hypothesis like we would have to, you know what I mean?
Right.
The whole,
for extra credit.
Extra credit. Yeah, I love the extra credit. I'm not joking. Didn't you?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Because it sucked. Because I'd sit there and I'd get 101% or 101.3%. My dad was like, "Did you get the highest day?" Because more than 100 isn't enough.
It's not. It's never enough. It's never enough. That's probably why I did the extra credit. I'm like, I just don't want to get yelled at again. Oh man, it's true. It's true. But also they gave stickers. Like, I liked the prizes I got.
You know, you're a 4.4 honor student. Why wasn't it 4.5? You know,
yeah.
Salutatorian, huh? You know, your cousin.
Yeah, totally. You know what? I got asked that too. Why weren't you the valedictorian, huh? And I'm like, I mean, I was up for it. No, didn't get that. So that's cool.
You're like, Mom, I was 4th in the class. There was 3 people ahead of you.
3 people ahead of you. Yeah, exactly. Yes, there was, which is why I'm going to Toronto. Bye.
But this is another secret for everybody. I'm going to reveal the secret for everybody.
Yeah.
If you had been valedictorian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then your parents would have said, clearly the educational system in this district wasn't good enough in order for you to excel and become smarter than the principal and the administration.
Oh my, yeah, accurate. Yeah. Like word for word, pretty much.
Right. But without the accent.
Without the accent,
right.
Because, you know.
And the slipper flying across your face.
Oh man, the flipper, huh?
Hmm?
That's what
flipper, wooden spoon, whatever it was.
I was just gonna say it was the wooden ladle. The wooden spoon would come out, and that's when you knew it was business. Or like, you know, when you make, like, we make like roti or whatever we call the mani, and the rolling pin, the wooden rolling pin. Mm-hmm.
Just get that shaking in your direction.
Yo, man, yeah, you straighten up real fast. Yeah, there was no soap washing of the mouth. There was just wooden ladles, a slipper, and a rolling pin, a wooden rolling pin. Yeah.
No. I joked the only thing that I didn't get hit with was the Bible because it was too holy to hit me with.
Yeah, 100%. That's like the Quran for us. It's too holy. Yeah, it was wrapped up away. I mean.
They're like, no, not this one.
Yeah, 100%. Ooh, where's the wooden ladle? Thank you. Yeah, the slipper.
They sit there, go through the bookshelf because they read other world religions and go, here, this one isn't ours. No.
But it's so true. It's so true.
Someone is so going to get offended by that.
I know. What have we done?
We've given them an inside view in like how our peoples really talk to each other.
This is how it is, man. This is how it is.
A lot of joke. Again, only thing missing is the tea and the hookah.
Yeah, it's so true. But one day we are going to do that.
We will.
Yeah, in like 2024.
No, let's give it 2022. One more year.
2022? You think so? Yeah.
You know,
okay, good.
Yeah. You know, everyone will bring their own little hookah mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And then they'll just insert it into the
And they used to do that anyway, right?
Yeah, but everyone's going to have like their own little silver one on a chain. Like, like a little necklace.
You should get on that. I'm not joking. I would buy that.
You're Indian. You have a cousin who's a jeweler. They can design it.
You know what? Do I? I probably
don't
do. That's the one thing we don't have.
Right. Like half the Indians that are going to be watching this are like, I find that offensive. And then the uncle's just sitting over there is like, what? I am the jeweler.
Yeah, totally.
And then, yeah.
And then you are, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments on like bad ones where I'm like, I'm crazy. I yell a lot when I fight. I can just see that coming right now.
Yeah. Wait till your cousins get in the comment section. Make your cousins get in the comment section.
You know what? I totally will make them meditate. Like, why isn't he responding? Like, does he think he has a more important job than we do?
Right. And then, of course, after we get off this call, we're going to find out that Naheed was in brain surgery and he was saving a life. And the brain surgery was separating Siamese twins, and they both survived. Because we want them both to survive.
I mean, we do want them both to survive, and you are not wrong.
Right.
That is probably, that's a problem. Can you imagine if that's actually what's happening? Because he would probably be conducting that surgery for sure. Yeah.
No. See?
Dude, if you,
we can crack jokes, but
I'm going to let you know. Yeah. They're good. Like, listen, we want like,
no, we're putting a positive spin on this, and we want your cousin to actually be successful and save somebody's life in surgery.
Exactly. And we are very proud of him. We are very proud of what he does.
I don't even know him, and I'm proud of him for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Just medical staff in general these days. I can't even, like, nurses, doctors, nurses. Like, I feel like, they're so frontline.
Yeah.
and don't get the thanks that they need.
No.
Just exhausted. I had a friend I was talking to the other day who's a nurse, and she was like, Aadila, it's insane. Like, it's still happening. It's still going. We're so exhausted. And that level of exhaustion, just like, it becomes such a norm that she's like, sometimes I'm like, am I in a fog? Am I not? I don't even remember what I did at work, because you just go through the motions to like make sure everyone's okay and get through. And breaks my heart.
Well, it better break everybody's heart. It's a sad state of affairs, you know. No, nurses, EMTs, orderlies, you know, I mean, especially the orderlies that have to clean up after everybody on top
more
of it.
So, you're right. 100%. Yeah. Man.
And then your cousin that's performing surgery and everything else.
You know,
no. We listen. We crack enough jokes at people's expense. We have to actually praise them too.
You're right. We do, and we do so lovingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we also have to, you know, let people know. When we make fun of something, it's because we actually appreciate it and enjoy it.
100%.
If we didn't make fun of it and we just shunned you, that's when you know we're against it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If there's shunning, there's a problem. If there's joking and humor and making light of heavy situations, you know, like especially those of us from the Middle East, it's like 10,000 years of recorded war. Like, you know,
no, so true.
Like you hear peace in the Middle East and we're like, when?
That's it. Yeah.
Ever?
I was like, that is not an accurate statement, but that's cool. Yeah.
I know you want peace, and believe me, so do I, but we have 10,000 years of recorded history going all the way back to the Epic of Gilgamesh to, you know, 20 minutes ago on CNN. Yeah. That proves otherwise.
Totally. Exactly. I'm like, the facts are there, but that's cool.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
I've just realized so many people love to live in their French vanilla fantasy. This is like one of the things that has come out of, you know, quarantine, that little bubble. And I'm just like, I'm always just like, wow. I mean, that's a little mocha latte, but it's still real murky. So I don't know.
You know, every once in a while, I do want my French vanilla though.
It's true. I like mixing French vanilla with actual just like dirty drip coffee. It's just the best of both tardiness and just bad aftertaste sweet. I love it.
No, it's good.
Like 7-Eleven coffee.
I like 7-Eleven coffee.
I do
People are going to be laughing at us. They're like, really?
I know. I'm not bougie about my coffee. I mean, I can be, but 7-Eleven's got a good drip.
Right. And then they're going to sit there and go, really? The Middle Eastern guy and the South Asian girl?
I know, right?
7-Eleven, really?
More so you, I would say, because like
it's you guys over here in the States.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, in 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
It is true. I did it. Yes. I got to play.
No, we're the ones with the heavy coffee addiction.
Oh, wait.
Middle Eastern people have the heavy coffee addiction.
The heavy coffee addiction.
The Indians are the ones that just sell it to us.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a great partnership. I'm glad we make each other happy.
Right. And then we'll buy the lotto tickets. Well,
always. Okay, you guys had a crazy Powerball.
Yes.
Whoa. Did anyone win it? I didn't even check up.
Somebody won it when it hit like 800 million, I think.
What the fudge? Yeah. I mean, 50% of it gets taken to tax, but still.
Right. Listen, at that point, when 50% gets taken away of 800 million, you're not really crying that much.
Exactly.
If you won $800 and 50% went to the government, you're going to be crying, that you're left with 400.
Yeah, like $400 is a lot of freaking money.
And let's be honest, I don't want to give away $400 million and keep $400 million. I'd rather have all 800.
All 800.
But
I mean, I'll take that evil. It's totally fine.
Right. It's the consolation.
It's the consolation. Yeah. So somebody won it. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we'll go start our stainless steel hookah, what's it called? Hookah mouthpiece necklace, and we'll be good to go. You know what?
If we do, doesn't like nickel kill? You know what? No, I'm just not even going to give any scientific anything.
We'll talk to cousin Nahid first before we get any advice, and we'll go from that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not putting anything out there.
Yes. That we'll leave it to the experts.
We'll leave it with cousin Nahid. No, still nothing. That's it. It's fine. Saving the Siamese twins' lives.
Yes. That's what we have to chalk it up to. That's why we're being neglected.
Yeah.
Because he's doing God's work.
Yeah. Like literally he is.
Yeah. Well, he's a doctor. I should hope so.
I know. Total, right? Exactly. He's God in our family, and that's great. I love that he is.
He's the favorite grandson, isn't he?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
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 You know, he's Simba and the Lion King that they presented to everybody at the start of the film.
100%. 100%. But I mean, it's like kind of better that way. I don't know. I wouldn't
You don't want that pressure.
A familial spotlight. No. That's a lot of pressure to carry on. No bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't breathe. And then, but you get to have more fun than Cousin Naheed because you get to be a legacy player in the Nancy Drew and be a Bobbsey twin.
I get to be a Bobbsey twin. Just so freaking dope. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, like, for you to kind of catch our journey, for everyone to catch the Bobbsey twins journey. Like, we do explore some really cool things, and codependency being one of them, in like a really darker place. So I think it's going to be a really cool twist on the originals, yet still having that sleuthy vibe and you know, solving things, but we get to experience such a cool relationship that I feel like is relevant today.
Right. Well, we've talked about the ethnic swap, and we talked a little bit about keeping in tone with the original characters. You know, you have to stay true to them in a certain essence. How much of the book's stories are getting adapted into it? At least, like, you know, a certain chapter for say, you know, let's just jump to episode 11. Since,
okay,
you know, we're right at episode 6. This is why we're talking. You know, the big reveal is within episode 6. So we're going to go 5 weeks from now in episode 11. You know, there's got to be something that has obviously comes from the books and stuff. Like, would fans of the books notice that? I was like, oh, that was in this book and this, and I see the twist that they put on it to make it fit the narrative of this episode. No,
not so. That was a hard no. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what to. I'm sorry. I need to answer these questions more gracefully. So not so much, because they've completely we've taken the liberty to create a whole new world. So it's a whole, they're not very much like the books at all in that sense, mainly because the books were set in such a different time period too. So not as much, but I feel like when you do read the books with like Gil and Nan, they do have that unspoken energy, you know, about them when they are going through all of these mysteries and trying to solve things. Where if they're at their uncle's, you know, in like a bunch of books, they go to that farm place, and or whether they're back home, they do have how the books read, how they have this unspoken energy where they can, like, the narration is like they look at each other and Nan and Gil know something is wrong. There are those elements that are in there, where a lot of Praneet and I's stuff is very unspoken in that sense, which is really beautiful. But in terms of storyline and that adaptation, no, I think the showrunners have just taken the liberty to like really create a new world with that for us, for our characters of the Bobbsey twins.
Okay.
Is that a good answer?
That is a good answer.
Okay.
Now I'm going to try to get a spoiler out of you.
Oh no. Okay, let's see if I break.
All right. So the television series is loosely based on the novels.
Yeah.
A lot of movies have novelizations.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a novelization of the Nancy Drew TV series? So that way, you know, you take the 20 plus episodes of season 1, and that becomes one novel, and then the 20 plus episodes of season 2, and that becomes another novel, continuing on in the legacy and tradition of the first generation.
I mean, I'd love for that to happen, wouldn't you?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Huh?
All the stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor and bonus features in the DVDs and Blu-rays, boom, there you go.
Put them in there and boom. I mean, can you manifest that one too, please? That'd be great. alongside everything else that I've given you to do for my life.
Right.
It's just
I have a to-do. I have none of the
You have a
benefits
to-do
of
list.
actually being somebody's boyfriend, but I have the to-do list at this point of that.
Exactly.
So great.
Yeah. You know, yeah. Apparently this is how it goes these days. Yeah, no, I don't know. No, I don't know. But I'd love if there was that possibility.
I'm not even asking for a finder's fee. Just tell them a dedication. That's
I sometimes feel like dedications is worth so much more. Yo, it's all about that street cred, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's $1? $1 comes, $1 goes, but street cred stays.
a dedication on that inside cover. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
totally.
inspiration, RC Samo Fanboy Nation. Boom, you know.
Yo, I will work on that for sure. I think that's a brilliant. Yeah, you know, put some feelers out there. Maybe I'll get you a spoiler follow-up. You know, I don't know.
It never hurts to ask, and
Never hurts to ask.
it would be fun to novelize the series, since the series is based on the novels, or loosely based on the novels.
It honestly totally would. And that's the thing. It is loosely based. And I think more so for Nancy's character, you know, like you can definitely take some references back and stuff like that. And there are relationship references versus just like actual, you know, lit reference, like taking the literature and turning it into the storyline references. I use the right word, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Listen, as long as I didn't do the 180 and 360, like that's the big one.
Yeah, you've already passed the test.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So, you know, and so long as you've course corrected and say, wait, I don't have the science on that, I'm not saying it.
I'm not saying, yeah. We
Perfect.
good. Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
we are all in the clear at this point.
Woo-wee. It was getting close there.
You know, all right. So episode 7 is coming next week.
Ooh, yeah.
The Bobbsey Twins have made their big impact. Just boom, hit the ground running over here in episode 6.
Yeah.
Why do we need to keep our addiction to Nancy Drew, aside from the fact that now you are a full-time reoccurring character?
Well, obviously that's first and foremost. No, because I feel like some real cool stuff is happening, and especially with the twins and the twins in this world, but just in where the series is going, this season is going from like 206, 207 onwards. Things are going to happen that you think you're going to expect, but you are totally not going to expect. If we want to talk about a 180, we can talk about a 180. And so I feel like you have to stay tuned. I feel like sleuthers and people in this universe, you know what I mean? And my mom's one of them, where she's like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know where they're going to find them. I think that's where it is. Everything you think is happening is not happening, which is why you have to stay tuned, because it takes a turn, and it is a freaking cool one. Yeah.
I dig it. All right. Before I let you go, what is it like watching your work with your mom, especially Nancy Drew?
Oh, I don't watch it with her. She will watch it. She has to watch it on her own, and then she can call, and then we'll talk about it. But that's it. I can't watch it with anybody because I sit there. I'm not very good at watching myself. So it's kind of, I wouldn't be able to do it with my mom, especially because she is so in tune with what's happening in this adapted world and the original worlds, that it would give me so much anxiety. Isn't that weird? I know. And we don't even have our hookahs anymore. So it's like, what would I do? I literally eat my feelings. I'm like, ooh, more nachos. Yay.
And then on top of that, she's going to sit there and go, couldn't you move the hair out of your face? That one strand is just sitting right there.
It's insane what she says. Even my dad, he's getting into it. The other day, I had this, like a Christmas movie, whatever, premiere. And my dad was like, why can't you just tell the people who dress you, because he doesn't know it's called wardrobe, that you can do it yourself, that you could just make yourself look better. So I will not say anything I know isn't this bad. I probably shouldn't say this. And he was like, why can't you wear your own clothes? And I'm like, Dad, that's the character. Like, she's supposed to look that way. And he's like, no, they're not doing their job. Why don't people know how to dress you? But like, you have to tell them, do these people work? I'm like, yeah, it's called a character. So like he told, like, it's insane. It's so funny. Yeah. They get into it.
I will fly to Canada just so I could do a set visit.
Yeah.
The same day your parents are there.
Okay, done. You guys will love each other. Like, they are like chirp masters on me, as your parents would probably be the same way, you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be a ball for sure. My mom is savage, like savage. It's something else.
You know, just because I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to do a set visit if they'd ever have me, you know, once we can actually do it again.
You will be coming down 100%. Right. Yeah.
You know, it's that situation. But the fact that if your parents are there, I would honestly be more entertained by them. Not unfortunately, but kind of unfortunately, because like, oh, I want to see how they're going to film scene 5 over here. You know, we'll just pick a random scene. But then, you know, I'll overhear your parents over here sitting there and just doing their thing. Yeah. They're like, I really want to be in on this conversation, but I really want to see what's going on in scene 5.
I really want to see what's happening in scene 5. Oh no, because they'll literally being like, ooh, what's going on? Oh my God. Oh, why is her makeup this way? It doesn't really look good with her complexion. Why is her posture not right? Oh, what's happening here? Oh, she needs to look a little, find the light. Like, it's insane. It's insane. My parents are amazing.
So it'd definitely be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun. You guys would have a lot of fun. I feel like I'd be kicked out of the circle.
No. You're the inner circle. Listen, I'm not one of those people that's going to join your parents in making fun of you. That's rude. Okay, great. You know, I know those people. Those people are rude.
Yeah, right? Like, you know, what gives, yo?
Like, you're the inner circle, and then the stranger comes in and adds to it. No. That doesn't work.
It does. Okay, I'm so glad we're on the same page with that.
Yeah.
I mean, 80-20.
Yeah.
80-20. Yeah.
The 20 is us laughing at the person getting made fun of.
Right.
But the 80 is still kicking back because you're not part of the inner circle yet.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about rationale.
I figured it out.
Oh, my word. You totally did.
So Nancy Drew is on the CW. Plug the show, plug the time, and then let us know where we can find you on social media.
Yeah. So shows on Wednesday nights at the CW. And if you don't have that, it also airs on the W network, but on CW. And if you don't catch it the night it airs on TV, you can go to the CW app and website and watch it for free, which is so cool. Wednesday nights. And my Insta is Aadila Dosani. Just first name, last name with the thing.
The at symbol?
Thank
you.
The
at symbol, yeah.
Oh my word. The at symbol. At Aadila Dosani for Instagram and Twitter. This is where we're at.
This is fantastic.
This was so awesome. Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
I didn't intend that we'd end up talking for an hour and a half. I thought this would be 20 minutes and out, but
totally, right?
It's like we've known each other for years, so it's like catching up.
100%. Yeah. Totally. We totally have. We found each other. Kindred spirits.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.